welcome to my informative speech about type 1 diabetes. I hope you enjoy. How many of you all have or know someone with type 1 diabetes? I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 11, and I've been a type 1 diabetic for 10 years now. I'm the only one in my family that has type 1 diabetes, although my grandfather is a type 2 diabetic. Type 1 diabetes is very different from type 2. Most people are familiar with type 2. People assume that type 1 diabetes is you can't have sugar, but it just means you have to take insulin when you eat sugar. According to American Diabetes Association, 1.6 million Americans have type 1 diabetes, which is insane to me. I did not know that. Diabetes, also known as juvenile diabetes or insulin-dependent diabetes. In today's world, I have noticed that a lot of people don't know what type 1 diabetes is, and I want to change that by educating people. Let's start with what type 1 diabetes is. Type 1 diabetes is a chronic condition in which the pancreas stops producing insulin. Little to no insulin. The pancreas helps regulate blood sugar levels by releasing insulin when necessary. Nobody knows the exact cause of diabetes, but some symptoms of type 1 diabetes: urinating often, feeling very thirsty, and extreme fatigue. The only true cure for type 1 diabetes is a pancreas transplant. It's not commonly used because of risk factors. A pancreas transplant is done with a kidney transplant because of the damage caused by diabetes. Treatment is a combination of blood sugar monitoring, carbohydrates counting, and insulin dosage. Blood sugar monitoring checks glucose levels in the blood. This tells a diabetic when insulin may be needed to correct a high blood sugar greater than 150, or when carbohydrates may be needed to correct low blood sugar less than 70. Carbohydrate counting is exactly how it sounds. Counting carbohydrates are in any food or drink that is eaten. Insulin to carb ratio is the key to determining how much insulin is needed to maintain a stable blood sugar levels after eating. Example, if your carb ratio is 1 to 12 and you have an apple that contains 24 grams of carbs, you would have to take 2 units of insulin. There are 2 different ways to administer insulin. Insulin injections are required to keep blood glucose levels in a healthy range. Insulin injections is a short needle used to inject insulin into the fatty layer between the skin and muscles, which is also known as multi-daily insulin injections. Using a pump means fewer injections, which is great for a diabetic. There are different types of pumps, and they all work in similar ways. I have the MiniMed insulin pump, which delivers precise dosage of insulin through a tube into a cannula that is inserted into my skin. care is essential to staying healthy and exercise. And ensuring proper nutritional intake and keeping a healthy weight helps curb the effects of a diabetic wear on the body. Going every 3 months to a medical professional called an endocrinologist, which is very important to a diabetic. Diabetic complications can be nerve damage, eye damage, and loss of limbs, which is scary. Final thoughts of diabetes. I hope this speech explained type 1 diabetes a little more. Medical technology has come a long way over the years to help manage diabetes. Although diabetes is a daily struggle, with a good support system and knowing how to manage the disease, one can live a normal life with diabetes. Thank you.